this particular area of expertise is constantly evolving, constantly changing, and that matters. If you don't have a lot of experience in the field of lobbying compliance, that comes with a lot. You have to determine with each individual state or jurisdiction, whether it's a municipality, whether or not you need to register. There's different kinds of lobbying. There's grassroots lobbying. Maybe you're, running a grassroots campaign, and maybe that municipality or jurisdiction considers that to be lobbying. Maybe there's other jurisdictions that don't. It's really determining whether you need to register first, and then once you need to register, generally speaking, not always, there's going to be lobbying reports that are going to need to be filed. So first you need to determine if you need to register. There may be a registration threshold, and once you need to register, you then need to determine if you're filing lobbying reports, when you're filing lobbying reports, what needs to go on that lobbying report. I know some states even have a different, it's not even a lobbying report, it's just a gift. If you're giving gifts, maybe you're having to file a quarterly gift report. But it's just a whole host of questions come with that. And I think that's generally speaking why our clients come to us. The laws, regulations, and really any kind of formal or informal advice regarding lobbying, campaign finance, and procurement, many times it's ambiguous. It can be ambiguous, it can be open to interpretation. Many times there can be conflicting laws and regulations that might tell you one thing but lead you somewhere else. We tend to come across new and difficult questions from our clients that we like to help them with. It allows for us to build our own knowledge. We here at State and Federal Communications have built relationships and a database with a ton of information at our fingertips, which we use to assist our clients and really help them deal with that ambiguity, and we will get you an answer. I mean, it may not be instant, but we'll get you an answer. Common misconceptions, I would say, regarding municipalities is just going to be that they always follow state law or never follow state law, and that's something you're going to want to look into. If they don't, generally they're going to have stricter regulations and requirements than the state. If I've already filed in one state as a lobbyist and I'm registered and I'm filing reports in that state, it's going to be the same everywhere. That is not the case. There's maybe not as much uniformity in the filing process, whether that's a lobbyist registration or lobbying reports. It can be extremely different in all states, and there's different thresholds and there's different limits, and there's a whole bunch of different filing requirements. Some states may want compensation, some states may not. Some states may want you to report your political contributions, some may not. It can be very, very different. And I think thinking you can do it in one state, so now you can do it in 3 other states, is generally not the case. I think when you fill out a form or a report, you expect it to be relatively intuitive. That's not always the case. There can be ambiguity, and many times just from being able to have filed hundreds of these, it may be a little bit more intuitive for us to do the filing because we already know, because maybe we've come across that question a dozen times. And we will understand the correct route to go and how to proceed. We help our clients with filings. Many times we are filing registrations and reports on behalf of our clients. So we work a lot with the lobbying disclosure and filing systems. Recently, there's one that is modernizing. So they're switching to a new third-party compliance system for their lobbying. And was just happened to be nowhere to input the amount of, they're asking for the compensation for lobbyists, and there's nowhere to put the compensation in, but that is a requirement of the statute. It is a requirement of the particular agency that's overseeing. We reach out to the contacts that we have, and we try and figure it out on behalf of our clients and get everything figured out and provide a solution and Sometimes that can be pointing out that the system itself is flawed, and the state or the agency will make that determination of where we go from there. AI specifically regarding campaign finance more than lobbying currently seems to be being used in political advertisements all over the place. And states, from what I've seen, are dealing with when that is okay, in that people are aware that what they're looking at is AI generated. Persons or organizations that are using these political advertisements are made to disclose that AI is being used. And I think with the route that AI is going, we're seeing a lot of very creative ways that it's being used, and it's only a matter of time before it gets into lobbying as well. Well, the database is extensive. The database has existed before I was working here, obviously. It's been around for decades. It's extremely helpful in that a lot of the baseline information has already been built for my use, and I can go and look through the database and really try to get a general starting point for a lot of the questions that we come through. And then if I have to do my own research, then I do my own research, and that database continues to grow with new and sometimes more relevant, up-to-date information. We have recently implemented a new version of our website. To me, it's, as somebody who uses it every single day, it's much more accessible. It's a little bit more modernized for purposes of finding our information. They have added a lot of new features that weren't there just this past year while I used it. And to me, it makes utilizing our entry and website much easier, because as we just spoke of, we have an extensive database. We've been around for a very long time as a company. And it makes my job easier, and hopefully it makes our clients' life easier as well. Generally speaking, we get a lot of questions from clients and or subscribers regarding gifts. It sounds so simple if you were to read a gift law and say, oh, the gift limit's $50 per calendar year, calendar month, and that's easy. I'll just stay under $50. But there's a lot that comes with that. The questions that come to mind with a gift question like that is, who's making the gift? Are they a registered lobbyist? Are they a registered lobbyist employer? Do they have nothing to do with lobbying? Who's receiving that gift? Are they a covered person? So are they a public official or legislator? Is an employee going to be a covered person for purposes of that definition? How much is the gift? What is the gift? Is the gift going to be partially or wholly reimbursed? Is it a travel expense? There's a lot of questions that come with a gift question, and for me, that's very interesting. I like to, especially because you get to see many different types of gifts that are given to individuals, and they may or may not be compliant. We have an exceptional and dedicated team of research managers and compliance managers who their focus is constantly learning and understanding lobbying compliance, campaign finance and political contributions, procurement issues, and they will get you an answer one way or another. And it's not always easy, trust me, but we'll get you an answer.